I originally pre-ordered the 85mm GM, until I decided to cancel my pre-order because of the issues on the cracking sound of 85mm during focusing. I owned 35mm 1.4, 55mm 1.8, 90 macro 2.8 which has reputation of sharp primes. This lens is tacked sharp in all focal length wide open. I've been using this lens for 2 weeks now and this one will stay in my A7R 90% of the time. This lens is a perfect combo of A7R. Yet it's heavy, but you know that quality glass is inside this lens. I use this on an A6500 as my walkabout and action shooting setup. Love the lens. Images are sharp and full of detail. Still getting used to it, have only had it a couple weeks and looking to see how it performs at some sporting events I go to. We recently got the Sony SEL2470GM F2.8 GM lens, which we use with the Sony A7R and the A7II. Our first impression is that it feels like a solid and professional lens. Weighing at 886 grams or 195 pounds, it is on the heavy side for the Sony mirrorless system, but that is a worthwhile trade-off for image quality. It balances well on the A7RII even without the grip, and it's similar to the size and weight of the Sony FE24-240mm lens that we had tried out for a while. We were concerned that it would be front-heavy, but it is very manageable for both of us. The lens features a black metal and rubber construction that is rated to be dust and water resistant. There is an AF per megafarad toggle as well as a zoom lock on the lens body. The focus hold button, right under the red G logo on the lens, is able to be customized to the eye autofocus functionality, which is extremely useful as the left hand is often resting on the lens for adjusting the zoom and for support. Lock-on tracking worked very well for faces and bodies. Our favorite way to test and evaluate a lens is to play with it, so we took it with us on outings with the kids. We took many photos at F2.8 to see what the lens is capable of at the widest aperture. When combined with 42 megapixels on the A7RII, the camera and lens capture a ton of detail, dynamic range and color depth. At 40mm to 70mm it is able to take great portraits with more blurred backgrounds, while at 24mm to 35mm it can take fine landscapes or environmental shots. The constant f2.8 aperture along with the flexibility of the zoom range make 24 to 70mm f2.8 lenses a popular choice for many photographers. The image quality of this lens is quite spectacular throughout the zoom range. The GM lens should satisfy most people looking to replace a series of primes in the 24mm to 70mm focal lengths. While the lens finds focus very quickly, particularly fast movements near minimum focus may prove challenging. This is more the limitation of the A7RII, which does not have the sports-level autofocus of the new A6300, and not the lens itself. The minimum focusing distance is 38 cm or 1.25 feet, measured in the distance of the object to the flange. So although it's no macro lens, you can get up quite close to something to take a photo of it. The lens controls flare very well in backlit situations. However, there can be some loss of contrast. Under extreme conditions, it will flare more strongly. The flares are generally small green light bursts. Sometimes there are more complex, rainbow-colored flare shapes and aperture halo ghosting when shooting straight into the sun. Background blur is generally very smooth, although outlines can be seen in the bokeh circles. The best part about the circular highlights is that they are completely round all the way to the edges of the frame. There is some vignetting and distortion, which are correctable. In summary, pros: excellent build quality with gaskets and weather sealing, silent, accurate and fast autofocus, quite sharp E. I love this lens. It is sharp and fast. It was pricey, but it was money well spent. This is beautiful Sony lens all around. Crazy sharp. Love this lens on my A6300 body camera. Sony has really set a new precedent with their GM glass, and this really showcases it. They've somehow figured out how to encapsulate all of the desirable optical qualities you'd get with a very good prime into a zoom. Previously, I wouldn't have even considered shooting a zoom for anything really important, but this lens changed all that. Even the bokeh is pleasant and very usable. It's great not having to lug 5 lenses around with me everywhere I go and risk getting dust on the sensor when I am changing them. Click link in description for more reviews.